Tarkov TED Talk, Stuff and Things, part whatever. So, what makes Tarkov stand out amongst all these other games in this genre now? There are some games that have tried to copy it, tried to clone it one for one, obviously, and a lot of other games just taking inspiration from it. But Tarkov still holds that something special, you know?
It's just got a different feeling to it, compared to other games. It feels more gritty, it feels more authentic, it feels more grounded in like an actual like universe, like a real legit world.
Right. Yeah, you can put names to faces and you
Yeah.
can see pictures of somebody and recognize who it is and there's a story behind that person.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's actually stuff going on, outside of the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And they definitely have done something with the grittiness, something about the environment, the way that it all comes together. It just kind of helps put you in the spot, and then you start making these realizations and seeing, these buildings or these people or this boss, and it's like, oh, I know about Rashala, and or was it Rashala? Yeah, Rashala, and him going back and beating up Rizzy's dad and like all this other shit, like from watching the raid, or not the raid movie, but the Chronicles of Rizzy stuff. And it's interesting that this video game boss is somebody that I can like put a story
Right.
to for something, and it's not even a story-driven game per se. I guess it is.
It is, yeah. It especially will be once it releases, I mean? Like there's gonna be a single player storyline. So they're like building all that up at right now, you know what I mean?
Right.
We don't have it yet, but we will. But yeah, I just feel like it's time and effort that's been put into Tarkov. That's kind of what separates it because nothing else, you know what I mean? Obviously, Tarkov got a head start on everybody, but most games don't make it this long to, you know what I mean, to actually build a story or a universe or just a style. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Tarkov itself, the place we're at is kind of like its own place now, even without the game.
Which is really cool. I think that's really interesting, especially for people that maybe they don't play Escape from Tarkov, but they happened upon the Raid movie and they're like, "Is there more of this?" And then they travel down the Battlestate Games rabbit hole, and here we are.
There's just so much more than just the game. And I feel like the games that have come out lately have kind of just tried to be I'm not even gonna say the games that have come out lately. I'm just gonna say Arena Breakout because that's really
I mean, it is
the
a
main
one for
one.
one clone.
Yeah.
They straight up ripped off assets and everything. Yeah.
The recoil, yeah,
Yeah.
they pretty much
Which, I
they
mean, that's
went
what
for it,
that company does. They
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. That's what they do. That's what they do. They
release IPs
copy
for
clone games.
essentially mobile free to play,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
high
free to play.
predatory standards
What you
and
know what's funny?
practices.
I got an email, I think it was yesterday from Arena Breakout saying, come get your free secure case now available for free to all players.
Oh, you don't have to
Because see,
pay for it anymore?
they were charging, but
Yeah,
everybody
just to
was like,
have,
"Fuck that!" Like,
a
what I mean?
safe
Like that's
space to
stupid.
store your stuff. Cost you
So
money.
now they're giving you one for free, and it says for free for good. Like it's not like a limited time thing. So
Right, right.
evidently
You'll always have
they
it, yeah.
switched. Yeah, they switched their policy on that.
I mean, that game was destined to die relatively quickly if they continue with the predatory practices. People being able to just buy everything right away. And I'm not, I know for a fact that they haven't switched up that much, but even just them giving us something, or players, I'm not one of them, but giving
Right.
players something for free for their time, it at least shows a
Well,
level of, they're attempting.
I don't think the game is necessarily gonna die, just because it's free to play, you know what I mean? You'll
Right,
always have an audience, um,
right. Yeah,
a
absolutely.
and and, like, it's got a big following, like, it's a popular game, it's a very popular game. I would say probably close to being the 2nd most popular extraction shooter, but it set its sights on Tarkov. It was kinda wanting to take Tarkov out, like, that's when they started posting, when all the unheard stuff happened. They were taking shots, on Twitter and stuff. Even in their, like, videos about their game, like, their advertising, when they would talk about, like, cheating and stuff, they would show a picture of Tarkov when they would talk about cheating. Like, that's the kinda stuff they were doing. So it's like, I feel it's only right to compare them, you know what I mean, to Tarkov since that's what they wanted. They wanted to be compared to Tarkov. And I just think it just falls short in a lot of areas, especially the atmosphere, just the
Environment,
locations. And to be fair to them, like I said, it's
it is
early,
painted more as an arcadey shooter at this point too.
It is, and it's been on mobile for a while, so they already had a game established, and they're just
Right.
porting that over. But it's like, no matter what they did, they could copy every last thing about Tarkov's fighting and movements and guns, and you could copy all that. It just doesn't have that. I don't know what it is.
Reach
It
out and
doesn't
grab
have.
a hold of you feeling. It
Yeah. When
it
I play it,
doesn't
I don't
do anything
feel.
to make me say I want to play this over that.
Yeah. When I played Tarkov, dude, the first few times, I was like, whoa.
What is this thing I'm supposed to do? I have no information about it. It's like you were literally dropped into the woods on your own with what you have in front of you. You know, like there's something about it that just kind of.
I don't know. It's just it's got its own thing that I just don't feel like anybody can copy. I don't think there's a way to copy it.
I'm all for new games in the genre. I'd love to see more games that can give me
Yeah,
half of the enjoyment that I've gotten from Tarkov. You know, I would consider that a win.
I played a lot of Arena Breakout. I played a lot of Arena
I
Breakout. I
tried
played a lot
to.
of
I played more of the other one, the Delta Force one.
yeah, I played more Arena Breakout, but I played a good bit of both.
Yeah,
Just because
monetizing every little aspect of your game just feels bad
right.
to me, and I
Well,
try to avoid
everyone
games
told
that do
them
that.
when they had the first like alpha test, everyone's feedback was don't monetize the game like it is on mobile. Everyone was like, whatever you do,
Yeah,
sell
because they could have,
skins.
if they wouldn't have monetized it so heavily, I would have put way more time into it.
Well, a ton of people would have, and that's what everyone was telling them. Like, monetize it by selling skins, by selling, like just anything cosmetic. Do not
Yeah,
sell
weapons,
rubles or
armors.
whatever. Not rubles, I guess it's called coins. Coins is what it's called.
Don't
Yeah,
sell,
you could just straight up
crazy
buy it.
firearms. Don't buy the best or don't sell the best ammos and armor and all this shit. It's
Well, see,
just
that's the other thing. They don't have a limit on the flea market. At least they didn't used to. I don't know if they do now, but they didn't have a limit on the flea market as far as what could be bought and sold. So you could just
oh shit. Yeah,
purchase all the money you
all the
want.
money you need.
Then,
Yeah,
yeah, purchase all the best ammo, best level 6 armors, and then you're pretty much unkillable for
yeah.
a newbie.
Right. Yeah,
Now everybody's counter to that was, well, you can just kill that person and take their stuff. No, you can't. If they're wearing level 6 from head to toe, you're not going to kill them.
face shielded up. Yeah. Granted,
Well, see, there were some other things like
percentage wise.
they kept track of like the loot. Like they would only allow so much loot to be picked up per day per server. It's not like Tarkov where everything's just random and then you can find a red key card under the freaking giving tree on customs. It's not like that. If you're not playing the high end servers that you have to pay to get into, they put a limit to how much high end loot you can get picked up per week. Like it's weird.
That is kind of weird.
It takes out the randomness, being
Well,
excited
that's
about
another
finding
one of those
something.
things that makes Tarkov though, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know how many wipes ago it was, but I'm in it might have been Shoreline. Yeah, it was Shoreline. I'm going down the hallway past Sanitar's door, and there's that white shelf that sits there in the hallway. And I look at it, and at the top shelf, there's a LEDX sitting there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh shit, that's
Right.
crazy. Like that's insane. You know what I mean? And that like that early in my career of Tarkov, that was probably the first LEDX I've ever even seen. You know what I mean? Like it was just crazy to me to find something like
Yeah.
that in a
Yeah.
raid as just like a level like 6 fucking
Yeah.
kid, little Timmy running around.
Or even a scav raid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But on those games, I mean, like I said, just when you're comparing it to Tarkov, those are a couple of the things that make it fall short as far as it
Right.
just doesn't have the same appeal.
No, there's so few games. The closest I've come to getting what I get from Tarkov is honestly when I first started playing DayZ, before I knew about looking up maps online. I was literally in the mindset of somebody that was just dropped on an island and told nothing with nothing and
Right.
expected to survive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's
and it
pretty
was
fun.
like every time it'd be nighttime and I'd hear a zombie, I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like taking my headset off, like, Cass, listen to this. It's like it just did its job of immersing me, which was pretty cool.
Right.
And that doesn't happen a whole lot. But I will give
Right.
props to Arena Breakout where props are due, and they have lasted longer than I think a lot of people expected them to.
Well, like I said, they already had the successful mobile game. Like it's already one of the top selling games. It's like, so of course the port to PC was going to be pretty well received. And I mean, to be honestly, it's not even out yet. They're still in testing. You know what I mean? So technically, it's not even out yet. I think it'll only get bigger just because there's always going to be that audience that wants free to play. If that was my first experience, I would probably love it.
I think so. I think it's a pretty good game overall. I don't think it's bad. I think if I would have played it without playing Tarkov, I could definitely see myself of putting a good chunk of hours into it. The only reason I'm on the fence about it, even it's not, it has nothing to do with gameplay loop. It's just how heavily they monetize that game.
Even before the monetization was put in the game, because like I was lucky enough to get one of the first keys for the first like pre-alpha test.
Oh, nice.
I got one of the keys because I signed up like way like a year before. And so like I was one of the first few people to play it, and it's like there was no monetization in it at that time. And I played it for like a month like that. And even then, without the monetization, it just not as immersive. Like I just couldn't get into it. Like I said, there's weird stuff. You're supposed to be like on these Asian islands, I guess, but you have like these English speaking scavs that are
Like,
hillbillies,
yeah, they're
and
hillbilly. Yeah.
but they dress like bikers, and like I don't know, like,
It's a little off putting.
and once again, from anyone who likes the game, I'm not saying the game's bad. I'm just
No.
saying when they came out, they went at Tarkov. They wanted to be compared to Tarkov. So that's what I'm doing. I'm comparing them to Tarkov. Tarkov just has more time and effort put into it, and they just pretty much tried to rip Tarkov off. And I think they just hate women. I mean,
You're onto something.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
And I don't consider Delta Force
no, it's not. It's
in the
not.
same genre. Like,
No,
yeah, it's an
no.
extraction shooter,
They
but it's
just both
totally
came out at
different.
about the same time, and I was just playing
Yeah,
it
and they're
more than I
from
was
the same
playing.
company.
Right.
Surprisingly, well, they're not. Okay, let me say this because
Tencent,
a lot of people say that Tencent is the owner, but not the developers.
not the studios. Right.
Yeah, the developers are different for each game,
Right.
and Delta Force has handled
Penises.
the monetization way better and penises way better. And I think it's just more of a fun arcadey. It's not even taking itself too serious.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it was I could just hop
Yeah,
on and just shoot shit. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
do
and
dig
it's
that side of it.
they've said from day one they're not charging people for like a gamma or secure containers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can just get one in the game and keep it. You can buy like skins, stuff like that, but not any money. You can't
No
buy
real.
guns. Yeah, it's like they're doing it the way it should be done. If you're gonna come into the PC market, that's the way you gotta go. You can't go with, you can just buy anything and everything. Like if your game is good enough, it's gonna make money by selling skins and stuff. You do
Right.
not need to have it where you can just buy everything. That's
Yeah.
just
Optional microtransaction are
right.
always the way to go.
No one wants a game where it's just pay to win.
Well, that's the thing. There are people that do want it, and it's the
Well,
same people
yeah,
that are complaining that some games are too hard or too this
but
or
majority of your player base is not gonna want pay to win. Like,
no, no.
people don't wanna get on and feel like they're losing because they're not buying stuff.
Right. And I feel like if you were to buy stuff, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a purchaser of things on games other than cosmetic items. I'm a whore for cosmetic items. But I would start to feel like at some point in the paying to win process, the player becomes irrelevant because you're just clicking buttons. And guess what? You can write a macro for that.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me at least, what is the point in playing the game if you're just going to purchase all the end game gear and just be the best off the rip? Like, where is the fun in that? Where is the enjoyment of the game in that?
Well, I think a lot of people they wanna feel like they're better than everybody, so it's like they buy the best stuff and kill someone, and that makes them feel good, you know what I mean? Like, they just wanna, and then there's other people that just wanna grief people or just wanna, troll people.
That's fair. That's yeah.
Um, but then there's legit reasons. There's people who work, have no time to play. Maybe they can only sit down 2 hours a night and play.
Well, yeah, but
As
that person's also not spending a shit ton of money buying the ultimate pay to win stuff. Like they might get a
right.
boost, but they're not like
I'm just saying that that's somebody they will make money off because that person will probably
yeah,
be like, "Oh, I don't have time to play.
yeah. I'll
I'm
take an
gonna
XP
buy
boost or I'll take this gear.
10,000.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy 10,000 coins and get the best ammo and run it for, 2 or 3 raids." I understand that side of it, but it's like,
It's the habitual buyers. It's the people that are consistently
yeah, the
like they're
whales.
just
The
constantly yeah. Whales. Yeah.
and since these studios are, familiar with mobile because that's where they all start, that's what they're used to on mobile
Oh,
because
mobile is yeah.
yeah,
It's the mecca
mobile
for
is
pay to win
invested.
transactions.
Yeah, it's infested with pay to win and infested with people who pay it. Like,
Right.
there's a reason studios do it because they
Yeah.
make a
Oh
ton
yeah.
of money.
Absolutely.
So it's like I get it, but if you're going to come into PC, I just don't think you can copy that
No.
mobile framework. I don't think it's going to work. But then you look at um, Gray Zone. Gray Zone released when Tarkov was having its issues with the Unheard Edition debacle. So what's Gray Zone do? They have that play test that week and then immediately release it instead of going in the
Taking the
oven
time to
and
fix
cooking
it.
it. Yeah, because now look what happened.
You know how many people are playing Gray Zone right
Now look
now?
what happened. Gray Zone was popular as hell when it came out, and then everybody
All-time
done
peak,
everything you could do.
72,000 people.
Yeah,
That's big.
yeah,
That's a lot. Current
yeah. There was a
players
million
right
copies
now,
sold. A million copies sold.
339.
Yeah. Now there is a night update, but that's just goes to
When
show you they should have had that stuff ready to
that should have been
go
day
before they
one on
released.
release.
Yeah,
Yeah, take the extra 5 months, fix the game, bring
yeah.
it to us in. We're cool with
A
it.
weather system, which I get it.
It does get about
They
1,000
needed
players at daily.
they needed money. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
they're a small
You
company. They needed money, and they knew
ride the hype
everyone
of the
was mad at
game,
Tarkov.
right?
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
was mad at Tarkov. So it's like that was
I
the
don't
perfect time, and
blame them for
they did sell a
releasing
million
that.
copies.
Yeah,
But
for
there's a
sure.
reason why most people left because there just wasn't enough content.
What was
And it's
the
taken a long time to get anything done. It's taken forever to get this night update done, man.
dude, we've been
Like,
waiting on it for so long.
yeah, I'm ready to play it. I want to play it, but it's
I
like
would love to go back to it and give it a go.
it's been like 6 months since I played, and there's been no major update like that whole time.
Yeah, no. Some little patches and stuff, but
Yeah.
there was another space game, I guess. It was an extraction shooter on like other planets. You kind of you fought like monsters and stuff, and
Oh,
then there were players around
yeah.
too. Goodness.
Uh, Frontier,
The Cycle Frontier.
Cycle Frontier. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, it's dead. They had shut it down.
Oh, is it shut down now?
Yeah, yeah, they shut it down about a year ago.
There's 3 players playing currently. I don't even know how that's
I was
possible.
gonna say that, yeah, there's nobody playing. They might be like in the
4 in the
launcher or
last
something.
24 hours. Well, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, the servers are shut down.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
But yeah,
people maybe private
had
servers.
it had cheating issues,
Big time, yeah.
and the progression in that game was just
Bad.
off. Like it was, yeah, as a solo player, it was impossible to really do anything. Um,
Dude, for sure.
that's another thing about Tarkov.
Solo play feels perfectly okay.
Yeah, a level 1 with a pistol, if you shoot someone in the eye, they're dead. No matter what ammunition you have, no matter what kinda gear they have, if they get shot in the eye, they're dead. Like, so you always have the ability to take someone down no matter what they're wearing. That's what a lot of games get wrong. They don't they don't give you that option to win a fight. You know, you should have a way to win no matter what. There shouldn't be like no way for you to win a fight because that
Right.
just makes you not even want to play. But that was
I
that
mean,
was
even if you're
Frontier's problem.
rocking a Death Shadow lightweight armored mask, that's only level 2 armor. And the Team Windy Expo ballistic face shield or any of the other face shields are only level 3.
Right, right.
So you're only getting so much protection. So even with your face covered, it is still very easy to, or not very, well, relatively easy to take a round
Yeah,
and die,
relatively. And
depending
most
on the
people
caliber of what you're getting hit with.
are not going to be wearing that stuff.
Right.
I remember
Yeah, a lot of players go in with nothing on their face.
one of my early Tarkov raids. I remember this because I was shocked. I was on woods and I was running a scav and I had a PM pistol and I'm coming up. You know where Sniper Scav is on the big tall rock, and you know where you shoot him on woods there, and he always falls down like off the cliff there and lands right there in that little patch of grass. I was coming up that hill there, and there was like this dude with like great gear, like top end stuff. He was coming up over there at the same time. We met at the very top of that hill, and neither one of us heard each other. So we kind of both startled each other, and I just start hip firing, and shot him right in the eye, killed him, like first shot.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, and I was like, just like shocked and amazed because once I started looting him, I was just like, oh my god. I was like, because that was like one of my first big kills, and I shouldn't have won that fight. But the simple fact that you can win those fights is what makes every fight exciting. You know what I mean? Because you
Right.
can. There is a
Whether you're
possibility.
on the receiving end of the bullet or you're the one shooting the shot, that fight can turn in any way in
Right.
the moment of a like just
And I think that's a big thing that a lot of games they miss. They don't understand that part of the game. It's like just having the ability to win a fight is crucial to, I think, your PvP, because you're always going to have people that are lower level and lower
Right.
gear. And in just reality, like
Well,
that's the way
yeah,
it should go.
exactly.
If
That's
you
what I was
get
gonna
shot in
say.
the
You got to
eye
think
with a
about it from
bullet,
a realistic standpoint when it comes to
right?
guns and bullets. Like a shot to the face with a
And
9 millimeter, even a 22 bare face. If they shoot you in the eye, you're gonna have a hard time being the one that survives that.
right.
Does it happen? Sure, not all the time though.
Yeah, and you're not going to win most of your fights, but you always have that chance to win. There's a reason to fight, even in that situation where you know you're outgunned. It's like there's a reason to try. But it's just that's one of the crazy come ups that you can get in Tarkov that you couldn't
Yeah, and
get
then
in
all of
the
a
Cycle
sudden you
Frontier.
got level 5 plates in your armor. You got a nice rig, good gun, and you're in the fight.
Yeah, and the Cycle
More in the
Frontier, I
fight.
don't remember the devs, whoever the devs were. I don't remember their names, but
Jaeger Studios.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They put a lot of time into that universe. Like they developed like a story. They had like a whole background about the planets, and they had some cool things like
They
where
did.
it was a
There was
persistent map, and you would
right
just have different people dropping in. You know what I mean? Like
throughout all
you
the
could
time.
drop in and pretty much stay as long as you wanted. Like there was no raid timer. Like there was a lot of cool stuff.
I agree. I did like the idea of the game, and I
But
like
yeah,
that they
they just
tried to immerse you in the game, but they
right,
they
yeah.
fell short on the development side again.
Yeah, and the gameplay just wasn't like the guns where they were just, fictitious like space guns that, were just like I don't
Shooting
know.
laser beams across.
Their tiers, like their tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 guns that they had, like it was too hard to acquire good stuff. And like if you ran into a two man, you're dead. Like there was just no way
Yeah,
to
there was
counter
no way
that.
of coming up
Yeah, it was
outgunned
just
and winning the fight.
that was like their downfall. Trying to think what other extraction shooters have come out recently. There's that one where it's like in this laboratory or something, and you're like you can be the player or you can be like the aliens and you're trying to extract. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like level 0 extraction or something like that. It seems kind of I haven't played it, but it seems kind of cool. But once again, it's one of those games. It's not trying to be Tarkov. It's
27
just an
active
extraction shooter.
players, 70 peak, 2600 all time.
Yeah, it's got a cool concept, but like I said, it's not in the same category really. And then you got, of course, DMZ.
Oh man,
DMZ failed to capitalize on the good parts of extraction shooters. To be fair, DMZ is still pretty popular. It felt more like a battle royale.
yeah,
It felt more like Warzone. Nothing was yours. You know what I mean? I felt like
yeah.
nothing was mine. Everything you
The
found in
only
raid
stuff you could
was
take
just
out
money.
was money. Yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't buy anything with it except more perks for your player, like another you'll start with a level 2 vest or you'll have like a level 3 backpack. It's like they just did it all wrong. Like they tried to just make it as cheaply and as close to Warzone as they could, and it just backfired. But because it's COD, it's still popular. Um it still has a player base. It
Right.
always will.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that bigger studios are now trying though, because it's like eventually one of them's gonna do it.
Yeah, there's going to be a game that comes out that is what we want. That
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
scratches that Tarkov itch.
One of them's gonna do it right. And for the longest time, I thought it was gonna be DMZ. The way they were talking about it, it seemed like that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, it definitely
But
got my hopes up. It just felt very unrewarding.
it was. Yeah, there was no reason to kill anybody. You couldn't loot anything off anyone's bodies. Anything you could loot just turned into
It
cash.
was just
Like
cash,
there
yeah.
was there was
And there was really
no
no need for the cash once you got certain
no.
perks unlocked and got to certain points in the
Well, there was no
character leveling
economy.
process. Right.
There was no flea market, there was nothing to buy, like,
No
you
traders,
could
no
go
better upgrades for your guns, like
yeah,
nothing.
you go in with blueprints that you already have unlocked, like, so your gun's fully maxed, you got full ammo, there's only one kind of ammo. That's the stuff that extraction shooters need. They need the variety, they need the economy, like, you have to have that,
Yeah, the
or
economy
it's just
plays
not gonna work.
huge part in the game. And that's just one of the other things that helps Tarkov be what Tarkov is.
Yeah, I'm kinda surprised that nobody else like, Battlefield tried an extraction shooter with, shit, what was Battlefield's one called?
Something to do with the fire, the ring of fire that would close in on you. I can't remember what it was
No,
called,
that
but
that was
or no, that
Firestorm,
was the
that
fire.
was their
Yeah,
battle royale.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
which I liked it. It failed, but I liked their battle royale. Like,
yeah.
I used to still play it, like, there would only be like 3 or 4 people I would match against, but I would still play it because I liked it. I liked it better in Warzone. I gotta look it up now.
Battlefield
Hazard Zone.
Hazard Zone. Okay, yeah. You know, a company that I would like to see do well. I guess it's the developers behind Sandstorm Insurgency.
What about it?
I'd like to see them make an extraction shooter.
Well, the only bad thing about that is that company got sold and got bought out by a whole 'nother company.
Oh, that's
So I don't
unfortunate.
know. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with the IP. I don't know. I mean, as of now, they're still putting out DLC and stuff for the game, but I don't know if they're gonna continue, like, after this one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair. Unfortunate but fair because I really like the gunplay in Insurgency. I like the movement in Insurgency.
Yeah,
It's not my favorite shooter by any means, but if they made an extraction
it
shooter,
had
I'd
good
probably check it
qualities,
out.
yeah, it did
I
have good
would. I would
qualities,
play.
yeah. It's kinda surprising that there's not a bunch more, like, I really can't think of any more,
I
really.
mean, the genre is relatively new, and
It
there
is.
has only been a handful of companies that have stepped foot in it. You know, it's definitely still an open market for people to jump in and try.
Yeah, it's tough
But
to make.
yeah, exactly, it is tough to make. It's tough to pull together.
Well, you gotta
Um,
think about it. If you're gonna make it, you're gonna have to dump millions and millions and millions of dollars into producing the game, you know what I mean? Especially if you're wanting to do the scope of like a Tarkov. So that company has to have the green light from management to go ahead and spend that money. And it's just like there's not very many companies that are gonna,
yeah, really dive into it.
yeah, until people, until execs see like the profits
It
of
can
like
be
other
done
games.
quickly, easily,
Right.
not too costly. And I mean, in time, I think we'll get there.
Well, that's why COD and Battlefield's first tries both failed, is because they tried to do it as, quickly and cheaply. They
And
tried to
as
do it
much
like
like
any
their
other.
game they already have.
Right. They try to just make it another game mode within their normal game, and
Right.
it's not gonna work.
It's
It has to be
that's
its own thing.
exactly. Is there anything else you want to touch on
Um, I
besides
mean, not
like
really.
cats,
That was
watermelons,
well,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Well,
that?
I mean, if we're gonna talk about cats and watermelons, I mean, I just wanna say that it's not the United States' place to decide how the world deals with it, you know?
I agree. I would just add food has to be in the bowl if the cat's gonna eat,
Yeah, that's true. Unless they have thumbs. If they have thumbs, they could just hold the bowl
or if
and
they have
dump
a
it
plate.
into a container.
Yeah, like plates are fine too if you have a plate.
This might sound crazy.
I just think that cats need food to live, and watermelon is food.
Yes. This might sound crazy. What if they have, like, a necklace that has, like, a little container, like a little plastic, like, sealable, resealable bowl, and that's where their food goes?
You just put it in their food. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No. No, this is the thing. They can't eat it, though, but they
It's
can
for
bring it
other
to other
cats.
people. Yes. They feed other cats with it.
Yeah, or you know, have somebody feed them.
Um, yeah, I mean, that could work maybe.
What if you just put a straw on it and some milk and just make cat cereal?
It's a damn good idea.
Should market that a little bit. Workshop
But yeah,
some
no,
stuff.
I just wanted to throw that out there, I think that's important too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think we can agree on that
'Cause,
statement.
we can't have every volcano erupt at once.
No, but the boys got to play.
Yeah, and you gotta give them, the right gear, which includes field dresses and hockey matches.
I mean, obviously, as long as he has his knee pads for kicking carpet,
True.
I'm
But yeah,
good.
not a big deal,
Have you ever
one way or
wondered
the
what a
other.
couch potato actually looks like? And where do you plant the potato?
Well, I would imagine
Like in the foam of the couch?
inside the couch, unless you have a snake in there.
Got a couple snakes in there.
Some people keep their snakes inside their couch.
Well, yeah, like a little massage chair for the
Yeah,
snakes
you don't want the dog to get them.
or the crocodile dog. His name's Crocodile.
Crocodile.
Crocodile. All right, I'm ending this recording.